You one time sold a guy that was in prison. Is this true?
Yeah. Funny enough, it was for a offer. He ended up paying in full, 15 grand.
Jesus Christ.
What's an actual tangible action step to actually internalize what you need to say on the call?
A script isn't meant to be followed word for word. So the first thing I recommend is have a. The second step that you can do is and then get to $100,000 sold in 1 month. This Australian guy is asking 6 questions and selling $30,000 packages at $5 a piece a week. And one of the questions...
How did you even develop good tonality? Because that's one of the things that people struggle with a lot.
The way that I would like to do it to like make it super simple, the 4 C's of tonality. So there was curious, but the key thing there is nowadays you'll see people who have never sold tell people how to sell.
Oh! All right. Welcome to another episode of The Dynasty. Now today's guest goes by the Black Prince of Piff. He started out as an appointment setter at Sales Sniper, became one of the top closers, then the head of sales, also the tonality coach for 7th level, and the head of B2B sales at 7th level. Too many fucking titles. Also, the former CEO of 7th level said this. He said, "The smoothest call I've ever heard. Incredible tone and skill." Reigning dad joke champion, Ro Telemac. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Black sales guy.
Dude, I had to memorize all those titles, man. I was like, we got too many titles. What's going on?
Good job, man.
No, I appreciate it. Like, definitely glad to be here with you in June. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, just off camera, we're just saying the rush hour of a sales podcast is here. So before GTA 6, there we go.
Yeah, the black and yellow mix.
And for the folks that don't like get that analogy, Rush Hour movie. So you got.
I think everybody knows.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised. You had Jackie Chan and you had Chris Tucker. Some folks, I let you guys decide who's who. Like if I'm Jackie or Brian's Jackie or if I'm Chris Tucker.
I'll be Chris Tucker.
It's 2025 now. It's 2025 now, so we can be anything, you know.
You can identify as anything?
Exactly. I can be a female now.
That is true. That is true. Because like nowadays you'll see people who have never sold tell people how to sell. So you're right. You can be anything you want to be in 2025.
Punchline.
That stings.
Kendrick Lamar, watch out. All right, well,
for people.
For the new people that have been living under a rock, with every call with Road here, like at Sales Sniper and 7th level, we always started out as a dad joke, whether we consented to it or not. So it just kind of happened to us. So we'll just keep people the sauce, man. So let's start with just one dad joke. We can give them all the sauce.
For sure. So, okay, I got one for you. All right. Why did the coach go to the bank?
A coach go to the bank?
Mm-hmm. Why did the coach go to the bank?
You know what?
I don't know.
I've never heard this one before. What is it?
Withdraw money?
To get his quarter back. Get it? Get his quarter back.
I don't know how to react to this, really. Really don't know. But you know how dad jokes.
I said I'd give you one, but just to kind of give them, because this is like this is the Dynasty podcast. I'm using super sauce. All right. 2.
Oh.
What do you get from a pampered cow?
A pampered cow.
Mm-hmm. What do you get from a pampered cow?
Pampered cow.
I don't even know what pampered means.
Like you should know this one, Brian.
A cow is pampered. I'm blanking out.
Spoiled milk. Just like you get a pampered closer, you get spoiled princess closer. That one's on the house. There you go.
Wow. This is getting spicy. That's spicier than I thought.
We'll wrap it up here. But Rob, I'm glad to have you on then, because obviously we've been on like Sniper and 7th level. And one thing really interesting about you is that you're so disarming, because I've seen some of your calls, or even people listening to this right now, when you're watching Road talk, it's almost like your neighbor at church or something. So you're just talking to him. Next thing you know, you're telling him about all the problems that you have, even though you just met him. Next thing you know, you're handing over the 16 digits from your credit card, right? So how did you even develop good tonality? Because that's one of the things that people struggle with a lot. I found that, especially since we started training people now, it's like objection handling, like the questions like, okay, say this, memorize it, right? But tonality is one of those things where it takes quite a bit of time to develop, right? So did it come to naturally to you, or did you develop it, or how'd you go about it?
Yeah, but good question. It definitely wasn't natural. Funny enough, when I first started taking sales calls, Matt had to sit me down, and Matt was like, "Hey, listen, do this." And I'll tell you what this is in a while, but tonality, I believe, is one of those things where it takes the longest to develop, just because what a lot of people are doing is like when we're talking naturally, we're just talking naturally. But what I've noticed with salespeople is when you start going into sales mode, people will throw out everything and feel like they need to become somebody new. And things that seem super common and super basic, they almost forget how to actually do it. So it's like you're teaching them the tactical side of tonality, but also like the practical side of it. And I think that's what makes it so hard, because it's so simple that it's actually very advanced, if that makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. Could you give some examples of that?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, let's say if we're talking about, like, take, for example, what we learned at 7th with Jeremy Minor, right? In terms of the 4 C's of tonality. Yep. So there was curious, concerned, confused, and challenging / skeptical. So a lot of salespeople would come on the training calls and ask, how do I sound concerned? Or how do I sound confused? And the way that I would like to do it, to like make it super simple, to tell people would be, all right, everyone knows, in my opinion, how to sound confused or concerned. And people would challenge and say, nah, I don't. And I'd ask them, suppose I was like a cashier at like a local Walmart or Walgreens, and you came in and you had $100 bill and you wanted to buy an item that cost $10. You come up to my workstation and you're like, hey, Mr. Black Sales Guy, here's the thing I want to buy. Here's the $100. And then I give you back change. But the change that I give you back for your $10 item is only $1. How would you sound? And what would you say back to me?
Dude, what the fuck?
You would be confused and you would be concerned. Like, whoa.
I'm just a dick, yeah.
Like, where's the rest of my change?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Pull up your pistol.
And it's like, when it comes to like tonality, in my opinion, these are things that we all do naturally. It's just, for whatever reason, connecting it initially in sales, we kind of make it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. So it's just simplifying it so that you can actually remember how to actually recall it, what you already do naturally.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I remember when I was going back home to Korea for a little bit, and I was talking to one of my homegirls, and so she sees me like going to Dubai and traveling different places, and she's like, "Man, like Brian, I want to be like you. Like I want to be traveling and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Well, okay, like why can't you do that?" And she's like, "Well, I can't because of my job." So at times I feel like I'm in a bird trapped in a bird cage. I'm like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" So it's almost like, it felt like a biz op sales call. It's like, well, what do you mean? But what do you mean bird in a bird cage? And she's like, well, you know, like I'll take some time leave and I'll come back, and then now I'm stuck in an office. I mean, like, how does it make you feel? And then right there, it's not like I was trying to like act concerned. It's just that the concern came out naturally because I actually cared about this person a lot, because she's a beautiful soul. Right. So even though I'm dead inside, even with like people that I really care about, like that side comes out. But it's just like, oh, and like, oh, how long have you been feeling that way? She's like, well, the whole time, like 5 years. I'm like, man. So it naturally came. I think that's because on a sales call for whatever reason, and like I've had this too, but it's almost like people get numb to it because you're doing like maybe like 3 calls in a row, 4 calls in a row, like however many calls in a row. And almost like it's like there's a bit of an agenda, right? They're trying to get the sale, which is pretty much the whole point of the call. But nonetheless, I think, and also they're getting caught up in like, what am I going to say next? Or like, how should I go about this instead of actually being present? And like, what is this going on in this person's life and their situation? You know what I mean?
Spot on. I couldn't agree more. Especially with the part of like what you just touched on is so important that I think it's overlooked a lot of times. Where when you're having a natural conversation, and you're able to respond based on what you hear. The problem, especially when it comes to like sales and tonality, is if you don't hear what they're saying, then you don't know how to respond because you're hearing what your inner dialogue is saying. So they're talking and it's almost like noise. So it's like, and then they stop talking and then you just go to the next question because you're trying to think about what you should be saying. Now, add that on top of thinking about how you should be saying it. So now it's like you just come off very inauthentic. But to your point, for the folks who can slow down and actually be actively present in the conversation, after a while, it just becomes like natural to you, where it's like, okay, like I think about it like sales is almost like a highway. Like the conversation is the highway. Like you're on the highway, you're in your car, and like there's this whole debate about script versus no script, which I don't really think is like the most productive like conversation to have because both of them work. Now, my view on it is a script isn't meant to be followed word for word. It's literally like, remember back in the day, some people may not get this, but there was this thing before you had GPS, you had MapQuest, right? So you had to
literally. What is a MapQuest, man?
Exactly.
Is this where we fill a generation gap?
Yeah. So this is where if you wanted to drive somewhere and you didn't know how to get there, you either had to go get a map, a physical map, which like I'm a little bit older, but I'm not that old. Then we had the internet, which is like MapQuest. So you would type in where you are and where you want to go, and then you would print out the actual directions. So it was like
wait, like another paper.
Yeah.
Are
paper.
you serious?
I remember my dad doing that actually when,
Really?
when I was 3, though. When I was 3.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
When I was 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then you would be in the car and like you're driving with like the directions, and hopefully you don't have to take a detour, right? And that's how I see a lot of salespeople. That's how they view scripts. It's like, I need to have my MapQuest printed out, and it says go left, I go left. It says go right, go right. The problem though is like, this is 2025, and I'm not sure about like your experience, but for me, a lot of conversations don't always go as planned.
Exactly.
So like there's different variables. So now introduce GPS, like 2025 GPS. So now it's like you have real time updates. So you take in my mind, you take the MapQuest script and you put it into like Google Maps. So you're able to like, if there's a lane closure or a detour, you can simply reroute, but still be on track. And that's how a conversation in my mind typically goes. It may end up going as planned, or you may have to kind of deviate based on what the lane closures are or the responses that they're giving you are. And I think that's a more productive conversation. And I think a lot of salespeople kind of, they get stuck in MapQuest mode, or I want to drive with no directions to go to where I've never been. And they might get to where they want to go, or they might end up lost. But I don't see that as the most efficient path, in my opinion.
So I know you're a huge guy in terms of internalizing your script or framework, right? The conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that actually mean, first of all? And second of all, what's an actual tangible action step to actually internalize what you need to say on the call then? Or how to really lead the call?
For sure. Great question. So when I say internalize, I mean like have a structure, have a framework, have like what is like commonly called a script now, have some type of plan, because that structure or that script or that framework is all it is a plan. It's a plan to have a structured, guided conversation. Now, inside that script or that structure, you'll have words or questions. Very important. First step is have one, in my opinion. Just have one so you're not lost. And now I don't recommend memorizing it, because like that's almost, in my opinion, the equivalent of trying to cram for a test, right? Not study at all. If they try to cram for a test night before and you hope, all right, I'm going to remember it. But you're trying to recall on memory, but not actual understanding. So the first thing I recommend is have a script or a structure or a framework that you're going to use. And then the second step that you can do is break it down into sections. Like, don't try to understand the whole thing. You might run the risk of having information overload. Just break it down into sections and then understand what are the outcomes or what are the information that you're looking for each section. And within that section, look at every single thing you're asking, like every question. Is the question there for your ego? Meaning, is it there just to make you feel like you're in control or make you feel like you're authority? Or does it progress the conversation further? And then once you understand that section, move on to the next and think about it like a house. So the beginning is your structure, is your foundation, and then you're just then building out the first level and then the second level. And then once you understand the full structure, now you understand why you're asking what you're asking and what the outcomes for each phase are. And now if you do, let's say you're inside a conversation and you're in a certain section and one of the questions doesn't make sense to ask because you guys have already achieved the outcome you're looking for. Now you can move on to the next question or section, and you're not leaving yourself open for any hidden traps. Like, you've covered all of the milestones. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, 100%. I think that one of the biggest reason, the issues is that people ask questions on the script. Maybe they've given by like a course, maybe they're sales manager or whatever it may be, but they just say it, but they don't know why they're saying it. And they don't know what information they're looking to uncover. And that's an issue because I remember like sometimes business will hire me and like I'll go train their reps. And then there'll be like a completely random question in the middle of the script. I'm like, hey, like, why is that? Like, what's the purpose of that? And they're like, I don't know. Like the manager gave it to me. I was like, well, I think it's great that you're implementing what your manager is telling you to do. But also at the same time, if you don't know, as an example, you ask a question and let's say the prospect already answered it, right? And then you ask it and now the prospect feels like you're not listening. That's number one. And then the other part is that maybe you ask a question and the prospect doesn't answer it, or maybe they just don't go as deep. And now you're staying surface area. Now it happens at an objection at the end of the day, right?
Spot on. And that, like, that happens. I mean, as you guys probably like know or are well aware of, it happens so much.
Yep.
Even myself, I'll be on a few training calls and doing call reviews, and I'll just ask somebody, what made you ask that? Like, what was your thought process in asking that? And a lot of times it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the first red flag because, like, just think about the irony, right? And these are great people, right? But think about the irony of this. It's like our job as salespeople is to sit down and have a conversation about problems that a prospect may or may not have. But the key thing there is we're supposed to be the experts in asking questions. So if we are asking questions that we don't know while we're asking them, then it's like, all right, time out.
It's like a blind leading the blind. It's like, I don't know where we're going. Do you know where we're going? I don't know.
Exactly. That's why I love the term that you've coined, princess closer, because I've never met a salesperson that actually wants to subscribe to that. All right. But what it does is it brings awareness to, maybe I'm not moving as efficiently as I thought I was. And I think that right there highlights like why that's so true, because if our profession is to make sure we understand why the prospect is having these issues by asking the questions, if we don't take ownership and accountability and find out why we're asking what we're asking, then the problem starts with us, not with them. And then we're princess closer.
And let's talk about like what you actually tangibly did to improve your tonality, because you said Matt actually got you into detention, and then like it's like you got improved like this way. So
or being a bad boy road.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt. So I had sent Matt a call of mine to review, and then Matt always shoots it straight. So Matt's like, "Hey man, listen, the structure is cool. However, you're coming off just very blah, very monotone, very
Is it
like
black?
Apathetic.
Coming off. Is that what you said?
Well,
You know my G?
No, black. Like, no, funny enough, like me and Matt all have very spicy back and forth text that will get us both canceled. I tell Matt is the blackest white guy I've ever met. Funny story. So Matt was here, and June, I'm answering your question. But me and Matt had to come to this was like a year or two ago. Matt had to fly to the city to handle some business. So it was Matt and his wife, and Matt was like, "Hey, me, you, and our wives should go and get some dinner like while we're in the city." It was like perfect. So we go and we meet Matt. Matt and his wife, like we have an amazing time, and I'm laughing because like we know how like undercover black Matt is, and for the folks that are like, what does that mean, undercover black? Matt has soul. Matt grew up in the States in Miami, and Matt like he's up on a lot of like the black things. He's black card stamp.
Okay,
so we're having dinner, and I'm internally laughing because I know the car ride back, my wife is gonna have so many questions because like she hears me talking about Matt, and like she knows Matt's way. And then when Matt leaves and his wife leaves, and they go to go watch a Broadway show, and then me and my wife head in our car to head back home, and she's driving. She's just like, "Hey, is Matt fully white?" So I go, "What makes you ask?"
He looks pretty white to me,
Yeah, but she's talking about culturally. So she goes, "Yeah, he's invited to the cookout," and I go, "Perfect." So that is the one of the highest compliments you can get.
Question: would you give Matt the N-word pass?
I was just gonna ask that.
No,
no,
snappy dude.
Like that. Yeah. Like that will get his car revoked and my car revoked as well. Like that is like I don't think any black person has the universal, hey, you have the right to give this person the N-word pass. Like, because then we'll both be kicked out. Like, so no. But getting back to your question about what I actually did.
Don't you love our podcast, Road?
Huh?
Don't you love our podcast? It's like we're supposed to talk about sales. We're talking about like N-word pass. Anyways, go ahead.
love it. I love it. All right.
Yeah.
2025.
There we go.
But this is we ended up so Matt actually sent me what was that very popular Broadway show with Francis Scott Hamilton. Yeah, so the main actor, Matt, was like, yeah, listen, when you're talking on sales calls, you're very monotone. So the sales, the prospect, they can't they probably can't interpret like what you're trying to like emote or get across because you're just coming off very monotone. So he goes, here, watch this Hamilton play on YouTube. It's the same Broadway play that was real popular, but they had the YouTube version. But Matt was like, here, watch just the main character. So these are all clips of him, and watch how he basically elicits the emotion and how he expresses it so that you can then think about how you would be able to express it in your own way. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Matt is crushing it. Like, he knows better than me. Let me see. And I mean, hats off the Matt because that shit worked.
Yeah.
When I started watching it, I was just like, oh, okay. And the reason why it worked is because it gave me a visual and audio like depiction of what I was trying to actually do. And like, so when I see him trying to express excited emotion, like his voice raised, or I see like just different things. And then the second thing that Matt had me do was, again, super simple, but yet very advanced. There was a book, a children's book. How do you do, Mr. Magoo? And like, it was like this big children's book, and Matt had got it for his kids. And then Matt was like, as he was reading it, it was teaching like inflections and pauses and like, it was like teaching kids how to basically like focus on certain words, but it works same way in tonality. So I went and bought the book, and it's like one sentence every page, but it's like, no, Mr. Magoo, this is for you. No, Mr. Magoo, this is for you. No, Mr. Magoo. And it was like different variations, but it was highlighted. And I was like, that's very simple. And then that started to click. And finally, the last thing I did was literally record myself. So once I had that, I went and got the Black Book of Questions and got my script, and I recorded myself reading every single question, like literally every
Sorry, I'm
single
laughing
question.
because of Black Book of Questions.
I was like thrown off also. Everything's black nowadays. Everything's black.
No, I'm just saying, you brought it up. So you anchored it.
Black
Anyway.
would be black.
Okay, Black Book of Questions. Jesus.
What do you call a black sales guy? Now, this might be a stumper. Think about it.
What do you call a black sales guy?
Dude.
Yeah.
A black sales guy.
I might get canceled. I can't say what I can't say what I say. I can't.
Just jokes. It's literally road. I am the black sales guy.
Why did he name that though?
Yeah, dude, your YouTube channel name is The Black Sales Guy. Like, you couldn't just do Road Telemac?
Yeah, no, because you know what? Like, I chose the black sales guy on purpose. One, because I was like, I mean, what would be a catchy name that just stands out that I'm like, all right. And I was like, okay. All right. I'm like, this is what people usually call me anyway. Like that.
Do they?
Hey,
The Black Sales Guy.
that black
Call you that?
sales guy, I like, he's all right. So I was like, you know what? There we go. The black sales guy. Like, not a black sales guy, the black sales.
Legendary.
The black sales. So if you know any other black sales guy, hey.
I actually, is there? I can't think. I can't think of one. Black sales guy.
No.
Can you?
No.
No, exactly. There we go.
Oh, maybe
Mission
the
accomplished.
funny salesman.
Mission accomplished.
Oh, the fun. You know the funny salesman, the guy that does like sells a window.
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a legend. I love that guy.
Yeah, I love him.
Oh yeah, like he's like. And at first I thought it was like like just a skit, but he's actually a sales guy.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow, good for you.
Yeah, but okay. So I have a question, right? Because I've been hearing these rumors that when you're on Sniper, I think you one time sold a guy that was in prison.
Yeah.
Is this true? Like what?
Yeah.
Like how do you sell a guy that like how did he even like did he hop on Zoom or like I don't even know how logistically that came up.
Yeah. We it was for funny enough, it was for a trading offer.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it was for a trading offer, and this guy was doing like I think 10, 12 years in prison. Yeah.
How did you figure out the offer? Like, how did you get it to the market sector in the first place? Like, how?
Yeah, but so before he was incarcerated, he made a couple of dollars, which allowed him to have certain luxuries inside the prison. So
what does that mean?
Hence why he was able to pay for a phone.
Oh
inside
wow!
the jail, even though they're illegal.
Damn.
So yeah. So funny enough, because I personally love doing all my own confirmations. So I was confirming my own calls. So as I'm confirming the calls with him via text, he messaged me and was like, "Hey, would it be like we can do a Zoom call, but like would it also be cool if we did a phone call?" And at the time I was like, you know what? Like phone call is cool. However, Zoom is preferred. So he's like, okay, no problem. We can keep it on Zoom. It's just I want to give you a heads up, like, I may have to hop off at the Zoom. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Like, so we hop on Zoom the next day, and I saw instantly why. I still have that call recording too. Like I saw why he was why he wanted to not be on the call.
What did you see
on Zoom? Just in case, like, the guards walk by, you have to hop off.
Shit.
Right? So we hop on the call, and I'm like, "Hey, okay, now I get it." And he goes, "Yeah." He was very, 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 very sincere with it. He was just like, "Yeah, this is why I was asking, if I could do it. Is this a problem?" I go, no. Listen, if for whatever reason we get disconnected, I'll just call you. And then he goes, "Yeah, don't, because I'll call you again because the guards shouldn't be able to hear the phone ring." So, but he through him having his phone in prison, he started seeing some marketing from the influencer and was like, "You know what? I want to find out more." And we had the call. And he ended up I was pleasantly surprised because he ended up paying in full, 15 grand. But like we had to call his wife, and his wife had to call his cousin that, like, because the feds took a lot of his money, so he had to move money to his cousin's account. They didn't touch it, so she was in charge of his funds. So we had to call to actually get the money, but he paid it in full.
That's another level of moving money around, basically.
You said what?
That's another level of moving money around. Hey, brother, I got to move money around. That's literally moving money around,
Yeah, we became friends on online and everything, and like he's out now and he's doing he took that program and ran with it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
hopefully in a legal way. Hopefully he doesn't get back there.
Yeah. No, like now he turned his life around. He's out of prison. He's posting online, posting his success, and I'm just like, good for you.
That reminds me of there's a personal trainer guy. I forgot his name, but he he wanted to start his like fitness coaching business. This is like way back whenever. And then I think his friends were saying like, well, dude, like do it when you get out of prison. But this guy was jacked at that point. It's like, nah, man, fuck that. And then he somehow like got the photos of himself.
Oh, yeah, the rip thing, the thing.
I forgot. Dude, I forgot who it was, but like he started like getting clients while he was in prison. Like he started building his personal brand while he was in prison. Respect to them. Just not waiting for the perfect time.
Yeah, no, spot on. No new year, new me here, guys. Like,
exactly.
You're in prison, so like, this is the new year, new you, and that just actually brings up a great point in terms of there's a lot of like valid reasons that people have to delay. Like, so I totally get it. However, there's a lot of like invalid excuses that we give ourselves in terms of why we should start doing something in terms of like fixing our situation. And those two guys right there, perfect example. If like people in prison with limited amount of resources are able to just say, you know what, I need to change my situation, then us out here like in the free world, just really ask yourself, like, what's our excuse?
No excuses.
Like, what is our excuse?
But it's tough, man. It's tough living in a first world. You got a roof over your head. It's tough, man.
Yeah, shelter, stable income. Like, I totally get it. Like, it's scary at the same time. It's like, again, and I think for me, one of the reasons why, like, again, everybody has their reasons, right? So, like, I don't want to like negate that. However, it does baffle me when, folks will say they want something and then like complain about the situation and raise their hand and say, all right, I want help. But then don't do everything in their power to get that help.
Yeah.
Like, that just blows my mind. I don't fully understand it.
And imagine if that person is a salesperson. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, we both had that. Like, being on 7th, that was like selling sales training was probably some of the funnest things I've sold, because I would tell the salespeople what I'm doing in real time.
Yeah,
like, hey, listen. So this is what we're doing next, and this is what we're doing next. But it's such a fun process because, like, it doesn't need to be combative, but it's like, I'm telling you what's probably going to happen next, because just the sheer amount of repetition that I've had compared to you in this space. So if you raise your hand and you hop on a sales call, like with me back when we were selling sales training, it's very, in my opinion, it's very different than like what they might expect, because salespeople, a lot of times they're used to being the salesperson. Yep. So when you're like in a sales process and the sales process is for you to get better at sales, like, you almost have to go along with it until like the conclusion, because you want to see how it unfolds. But if you go along with it, then you're compelled to like drop all of the armor. And like, by the time we get to the end of it, it's like, all right, like, here you go. And it's just like, damn. Like, I have to change, or I have to admit that I'm bullshitting to myself.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like having the uncomfortable realization that you and I both know what just happened. And you and I know where you then are tasked with helping people get out of their own way. But if you aren't willing to do it for yourself, how effective can you really be doing it for other people?
I wish I had a horn right now. You know the thing Matt has during like the 7th level challenges is like, wah, 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 wah. That thing.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like also like standards, because we had that conversation a little bit also. And what I'm seeing right now is it's a personal opinion though, but I think the last couple of maybe months or years, I think the standard when it comes to salespeople has become very low, in my opinion. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, like I think there's like this like cycles, I like to say. So if you look at it, we had the benefit like Brian and I of like being in a culture where the standards were very, very high in terms of skill level. Like you seen like if you just think about, so for me, I came from like more traditional like corporate selling from like 2011 to like 2020. And then and I thought we were selling, right? However, then I see Matt talking about, Eli Wild talking about Matt in 2019. There's this Australian guy that is asking 6 questions and selling 30,000 packages, $30,000 packages at $5 a piece a week, just 6 questions. And that blew my mind because I was like, huh? And then I meet Matt and I realize why. Because I had no idea that there was like this like high ticket remote closer space. But when I came in, the big mountain for everybody to climb was get to $100,000 sold in 1 month. And I messaged Matt and told him, hey, listen, I just quit my job at 10 years. I just want to learn what you're doing. Like, just tell me what's up. And Matt, me hopped on a call, and Matt was like, listen, if you're willing to eat shit for 6 months, and I'm not going to pay you that much, but I'll teach you so-and-so. If you just shut up and just follow my lead, like by the end of like 12 months, you should be here. I was like, sign me up. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because everything Matt said came true. But like to your question, June, and he was nowhere near as skilled as he is now, and he'll admit that. But his standard was like, oh no, screw that. Everybody else was like 100,000 was the peak, and he's like, we're doing that in a week. Screw that. So he was just like, and he was collecting a lot of cash. So I was like, this is very, very different. So when you think about a lot of like the legacy sales sniper reps that started during there, it was like that whole culture was just high standards. It was like, we're not counting offers made. We're counting just period, like calls that were on the calendar, like, this is what we're collecting. We're not counting just like revenue. It's like, how much cash are you collecting? Like, how are you showing up? We're not waiting for somebody else to, like fill up our diaries. Like, let's take actual accountability and control and like generate like our own opportunity. If like we don't have it. And to make a long story short, like you even look at 7th Level, how that was started. Like Jeremy started that, like hats off to him in 2018, I believe. And then there was like a rebrand in 2021. Like because Matt started learning from Jeremy, and then Jeremy asked Matt to be a sales rep. And then Matt was, and I saw this all firsthand. Matt went to the marketing team that they had time. Was like, all right, how long will it take for us to get leads? And they told him, I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And he was like, fuck that. Like they had a Facebook group, and he just went in there and started farming himself. And then like just started, like he built that whole program up, like by just activity and having a process. And then having the skills. And I think that if you have somebody who was already making millions of dollars and had a business, but he's like, all right, there's no opportunity here in terms of like warm leads coming in, but we have an asset right there. Let me go and hop on that. That just shows you what the standard was, and that trickled down. And I think what's happened now though is a cycle, it's a vacuum. Sales Sniper and Seventh and a lot of those reps, like that wasn't really, at least from what I've seen, that wasn't advocated for like in this space before, where it was like, oh, you don't celebrate close rate. Offers made. No, because before it was like this person was a good candidate, so I didn't offer him. So he doesn't count to my stats. Well, he does, all right? So that got taken care of. Or it was, I want warm inbound leads only. And so you had a guy who was already a millionaire saying, no, feed me everything. I don't care. I'll make it work. It's like, that wasn't done. Confirming your own calls. Like, it was like, no, my setter does that. And he's like, no, fuck that. Like, I do that. Like, and it's like, it was that selfless, just, I have no ego. My goal here is to find problems and master my solutions. And as a byproduct, I make money. That's it. Everything else is over with. And I think that standard is unfortunately going away because you have people now that are shouting way louder and saying, well, you need to focus on just this, or you need to focus on just that. And the holistic approach of being a sales professional, I think, has just not as celebrated now, because now you have everybody just wanting to get a quick buck rather than actually be consistent and make money long term.
No, 100%. I mean, it's, the scheme is obvious, right? So you can sell your course. And all of us sitting here, we all sell something in like sales training. So we all get that. But I like the thing you talked about, Road, which is, I remember you making a video on Facebook about like, how about instead of this versus that, how about we use all of that? And that's how me and Jun think as well, because dude, quite frankly, I don't give a shit if I need to get better at objection handling or if I need to call leads to make more money in sales, help more people. If somebody told me, let's say the world changes tomorrow and for some whatever reason, we need to get a perfect bowling score at the bowling alley, dude, you best believe I'm getting bowling lessons at the fucking bowling alley. Like, I don't care, right? So it's like, why is it like objection handling versus discovery? Like, we'll do both. Why is it one call close versus follow-ups? Do both, right? So now you have a better chances of you getting to where you want to go. So that's why I love the stuff you talked about. Now, we do have to get running because they're going to kick us out here, but Road, I think we need to do a second episode because time just fucking flew by, and then
I'm down. I'm down. Listen, Rush Hour Sales Edition Part 2.
Exactly.
I'm down.
Exactly right.
Black and yellow.
We'll have the black and yellow as the outro music.
Black and yellow theme song. Black and yellow. I like that.
Exactly. Road, thank you so much for hopping on. Any last words before we wrap up?
Dad joke.
Where can we find you? Where can we find you?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, okay. All right. This one is going to be a little bit a long one, a tricky one. TheBlackSalesGuy.com. The Black Sales Guy.
Too long already.
Are you serious? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and for the folks that like, you know what, that's too long, I got you. You can type in BlackSalesGuy.com and you'll find me. They both go to the same place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just work harder until people search black and your name pops up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something else may pop up, just warning people there. Oh. But that's it. Road, much love. Thanks for hopping on. That was fire. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Ciao.